Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine. Children, here we are going to start the next chapter, chapter number 10. And this chapter is based on what are the hazards of waste accumulation. You know what is accumulation? Accumulation means to store anywhere. Something is gathered anywhere, right? So when the waste has gathered anywhere, can just when it gets stored anywhere. So what are the hazards? What are the hazards that's we will study in detail in this chapter, right, children? So here chapter this children this chapter is based on the 3 points. The first point is hazards of waste on land, means what the effect of waste on land is coming up, that we will see in detail. After this, waste of hazards of waste and accumulation of waste in water, and then the second point, and the third point is hazards of waste in air, right? So means we will study how the waste material affected our land, our water, and in air, right? How the air is affected, how the land and the water, right? Here the introduction of this chapter is the first part. This is waste generated from different sources pose a number of threats, right? It pollutes land, air, and water. When water and soil are polluted, the crops get affected. This is the first effect what we received here, what we got it here, and this is the main thing, because the crops what we that's that thing what we eat, right, children? So when water and soil are polluted, then the crops get affected, and this is the big loss for us. It affects adversely man and animals. Yes, children, man and animal also will affect from the accumulation of waste. Polluted air affects plants, animals, and man. Different types of waste affect differently in a different ways. Some waste are inflammable, like perfume can, batteries, plastic, etc. They can cause fire. Some waste are toxic, which has some toxic, the toxin. So some waste are toxic, like many industrial waste. They can pollute the soil, surface water, and underground water, right? Some waste are reactive, like waste of chemical and fertilizer chemicals and fertilizer factories. They can react with soil, rock, and produce various gases in air. Some waste are corrosive, which make effect of corrosion, right? Like industrial waste, they can corrode hard substance like steel and rock. Some waste are infectious, like domestic, municipal, and medical waste. They can spread disease, right, children? So now the next, the main point, which is the started from the hazards of waste on land. Waste generated from land is very harmful for living organism, including man and animal, including man in many ways. And hazards of now the first point, which is the start. Actually, there are some few points are there. We will discuss one by one. The first point is hazards of domestic and municipal waste. Okay, so dysentery, diarrhea, malaria, plague, etc. Some of the medical and municipal waste are infectious. They are capable of spreading diseases. Spreading of diseases is mainly the result of improper dumping of waste. Improper dumping of waste. Okay, children. So here, what is the point what we're getting here? We have to be when we are dumping our waste, then we all must be very much careful. Okay, and it also gives bad smell. Now the next is hazards of mining. So mining often leads to land disturbance also, you may say. People who work in the deep coal mine inhale the fine coal dust it leads to a disease called black lungs, right? Means what the what when that man breathes, so that some is very much small particle go inside the body in the lungs, and it will affect the lungs, okay, through the breath. When we are breathing, so with the air, that particles go inside a body, okay. Many gases also releases in the process of mining, like methane, right, carbon and carbon monoxide, which is very much harmful. CO2 is also harmful. The more harmful is carbon monoxide, CO, CH4. Oil spill causes, when the oil is spilled sometime unintentionally, when the oil is spilled on the in the sea or ocean, so it causes another hazards of soil and water of that area, okay children. Now the next is hazards of transport. All these are the hazards of what we getting from transportation, okay. So all vehicle means for with the transportation class, the first point which I come in our mind, which is that smoke. What the smoke is coming out from the vehicle, right? It is very much harmful for the ear, for the air. All vehicles emit smoke as a gaseous waste. It's a simple thing, that's you know it, that the main air pollution. So the transport is the cause of air pollution. The vehicles use petroleum product as fuel, which generate a lot of smoke. It pollutes the air with poisonous gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, right? And it has adverse effect on the health of the people, especially asthma patient. It also causes irritation in the eye, right? Now class, the 4 point. Now it is the study of hazards of industrial waste. What the waste what we're getting from industry. So what the hazards are, points are there, that's we will see here. Many industries are situated near the cities. All industries generate waste. Smoke is the common waste generated from the most of the industries. Smoke of different industries contain different poisonous elements. Solid and liquid waste are also generated in large quantities. Industrial waste contain toxic elements which are capable of damaging water, soil, and air of that area. So the first point, agriculture. It is very much beneficial for us, and it is a part of our life, agriculture. But with that one hazards, some few hazards are there, and that is also we have to be careful from that one. First is here the topic is majority of people in the developing countries or third world countries like India are engaged in the occupation of agriculture because of limited land and high demands of food. Large number of insecticides, pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizer are used. All these contain chemicals. All these contains chemicals which gets mixed with the water. Animals drinking that water may get affected. Means when the water has affected, and when the animal drink that water from the pond, from the river, right? So they also will affect it. This water, when joined the underground water, can bring harm to us as well, okay. So during harvest season, children, now listen very carefully. During harvest season, threshing generate lot of dust which affect the health of the people. Nowadays the stock are not cut by the farmer. After threshing, they are burnt. It also causes a lot of smoke in the air, which also affect the health of people, right? Class, children, you all can see the machine, thresher machine are there, right? Which is that picture is also given in your book, page number 67. Thresher and dust, also you can see one picture is given there. It is a one machine which is used in agriculture, okay. So now class, the next point is hazards of nuclear waste. Uranium, it is an element, okay, and this is a radioactive element, okay. Uranium is the chief raw material used in nuclear energy, where it is mined, means after use whatever the residual rods, uranium rods, when we mine, when we dump anywhere, so where it is mined, a gas called radon is released, which is radioactive, and it will affect the plant and animal both, and including us, that is a human being. The waste generated by nuclear energy remains radioactive for thousands of years. Okay, it is very much we have to be very much careful for the dumping of waste material from what we're getting from the nuclear plants, because they are radioactive. Na? Radioactivity is done, means somehow the radiation is coming out from that element, which is affect the human being, animal, plant. Thus, it can bring harm to future generation as well. The biggest problem being discussed world over is to find a place where this waste can be dumped. It is usually sometime used for the old mines, right? Means the coal mine, the old very much coal mines. In that mine may be used for dumping that nuclear waste sometime. A few years ago, scientists in US had agreed to dump in deep inside the earth, where the thick layer of igneous rock are available, because igneous rocks are very strong. This waste cannot mix with the soil and underwater. The waste can generate there for thousands of years. Now class, a very common point is coming up. Now this is the noise pollution. So although noise is not the waste, yet it requires attention to the student of environment. Children, sometimes you also make some noise in the absence of teacher. That it should not be, okay, because student can be a good student when he or she is a good listener. When he or she is a good listener, so student must be a good listener. If he is not a good listener, then he cannot get any knowledge, any good thing from the elder brother and sister, from the parent, from the teacher. When children, you all pay respect, okay, when you be calm, when you be quiet in front of your elder, your parent, your teacher, then you can learn something, a good some few lessons and ethics you can take from your elder people. So you have to be down to earth, and you must be down to earth. You must be respect. You must be respect them. You must be pay attention when they speak. You must be small, because the God has given us 2 ears, 1 mouth. Why? Because the God wants is that God giving us one lesson. And what is the lesson? The lesson is speak less and listen more. Speak less, listen more. Speak less, then you can get some knowledge. Then you can be success. When you be always tends to speak unusual, means there is no use, and you are speaking, you are talking. So it is not the use of your tongue. It is a very precious organism what God has given us, right? So we must know where and when we have to be used. Okay, children. So it is a very important point, class, because when we are not educated, if we are not generated, then we can't understand, and we can't think about how can we save ourselves from the hazards of waste accumulation. So firstly, we have to be save ourselves from the bad things, from the bad company, right, from the bad habits. Then we can think over then we can save our society, then we can save our earth, then we can save our air, then we can save our soil from the hazards of waste accumulation. When we are not good, then we cannot do something. We cannot think of us anything good for our country, for our home, for our school, for our classroom, for our own environment, for our own society, for our own colony, right? When we educated, when we good, then we can think good something, then we can make out any idea with our friends, with our neighbor, with our classmates, right, children, to make a good environment, and which is very much important, healthy and good educated environment around us. Okay, children. So now it is continue here. Also, noise is not a waste. Children, whatever is written here in your book now, this is the very much important lines. When you read it there, then you have to be follow in your life as well. It is not only to be reading only. It is mentioned here in your book. And for example, any book is there. For example, the science, math, English, whatever you study. A good thing you take it and you follow and you enter in your life and you implement it in your life. Then you can take some benefit. That is why it is written. It is not only for the reading. Okay, children. So also, noise is not waste, yet it requires attention of the students of environment. Vehicular traffic is increasing in the cities day by day. Their movement causes a lot of noise. It causes disturbance to the student studying in school and home, and patients in hospital who need peaceful atmosphere. Pressure horns are of great concern here, right? Sometime you heard a sound of horn. They have a very high sound. What we got from there, right? Very loud sound. What we got from any horn. Horn. These are the pressure horn actually. Okay. So children, we have to be silent, right? Silent means that we should not make a noise by which some other people get affected, means can get any problem from us. So I hope your children you understand whatever I read it here in your from your book. Loudspeaker are also other means of noise pollution. Okay. So now class, the next point, hazards of waste in water, means how the waste is affected of water. We already know that 71% of Earth's surface is covered with water, okay, and 29% is covered by land. Man makes a lot of use from water. Many types of waste are dumped. Many types of waste are dumped in the water bodies, which cause a number of hazards. So all these, what are these hazards that we will study here? One is threats to marine life. Means marine a life which is concerned to the water. That is life of ocean, life of water, animal and plant in the ocean, in the river, in the sea. Right? It is a marine, marine life related to sea, related to water. And it is also sometime the pond also come in that. So at many places, the industrial and municipal waste is released into ocean. It carries many toxic element, very harmful element, which can kill the marine life, which can affect the fishes, marine plant and mainly animals. Petroleum is also drilled offshore. Okay. It sometimes lead to oil spill. Sometimes the petroleum spill and it comes on the surface of sea. Sometimes you see in any video or in television. So it sometimes leads to oil spill which can destroy the fish and other sea animals. Now class, the next point, it is about the marine life. The next is the river water, right? So at many places the sewage of cities is drained into the river. It spoils the river water. It cannot be used for drinking purpose. Many industries also drain out their waste into the river. This waste contains many toxic elements which on mixing with water can destroy the biotic life of that region. The river water is channeled into canals. This water is used as a means of irrigation. This way, toxic element can reach field and crop grown. They can absorb these elements. After all, it is a man who will suffer by consuming those crops. Okay, means when the water affected and by that water the crop will affected, and when we eat the crop, then we will affected. Okay, it can lead to many types of diseases. Many cities get their drinking water from river or and canals. Such water is unfit for drinking purpose. Next is 3 to underground water, means how that waste has affected underground water. Various types of chemicals are released as waste by the factories and agriculture practice. Many of these chemicals are soluble in water, and the water slowly seeps down to join underground water. When the water go inside the earth, right? So when it join to the underground water, then that bad things will into the underground water. The underground water is a major source of drinking. Also, it is a man who suffer by consuming such water. That's the last point, hazards of waste in air. So now class here, place of air is vital of environment. Place of air is vital in the environment. Any change in air disturb the whole atmosphere. It is a very simple thing, class, right? It can affect the cloud, wind, rainfall, snowfall, etc. All these things are required at land as well as in water by all the living organisms. Air too cannot escape from the various types of waste generated by man. Now class, the first point is hazards. These are the hazardous. It is hazards of smoke in the air. Smoke is a cause of concern to all living organism, especially man, because we do breathe. So all of us need fresh air to breathe so that we can remain healthy to lead a comfortable life. But the fresh air is being polluted by smoke. It is generated by factories and vehicles. Various types of fuels are used which generate various types of gaseous waste in air. They keep on floating in air. When we breathe in these ways, it causes many types of diseases. Next class, the next point, which is very much important, about the acid rain. You heard this name in science as well. Okay, sometime you heard it's hazards of acid. When the poisonous gas mixed with the rain, then that rain now it become a acidic. So that rain that rain is called a acid rain. Okay, so acid rain is a type of air pollution. It occur when it is, class, you learned this line. Okay, it occur when oxide